Meeting a small but mighty herb, Gotu Kola, Centella Asiatica. Gotu Kola may not look like much at first glance, just a small, round-leafed ground cover creeping quietly along the soil, but herbal traditions across Asia have treasured it for centuries as a rejuvenating brain, skin, and longevity herb. From Ayurveda to traditional Chinese medicine, it has been used to sharpen memory, calm the nervous system, speed wound healing, and nourish connective tissue, earning nicknames like herb of longevity and food for the brain. In this video, you're going to explore what Gotu Kola is, its key health benefits, how people use it in daily life, safety considerations, and how to grow it yourself so this gentle powerhouse can move from folk legend into your own garden and home apothecary. What exactly is Gotu Kola? Gotu Kola, known botanically as Centella Asiatica, is a low-growing perennial herb in the parsley family that naturally thrives in warm, moist regions of Asia, especially India, Sri Lanka, and parts of China and Southeast Asia. It spreads by creeping stems that root as they go, forming a mat of bright green, fan-shaped leaves that hug the ground and prefer consistently damp soil and partial shade, which is why you often find it near rice paddies and wet fields. Traditionally, the leaves have been eaten fresh as a food, juiced, made into teas, or processed into powders and extracts, and today you also see it in capsules, tinctures, topical creams, and even high-end skincare formulas aimed at firming and rejuvenating the skin. Core health benefits: brain, nerves, and mood. One of the most celebrated gifts of Gotu Kola is its effect on the brain and nervous system, where it is considered a mild nervine and cognitive support herb rather than a heavy sedative. Research suggests that compounds in Gotu Kola, especially its triterpenoid saponins, can support learning, memory, attention, and mental clarity, with some human and animal studies showing improved reaction time, working memory, and support for brain areas involved in learning and recall. Practically, this means many people turn to Gotu Kola when they feel mentally foggy, distracted, or under chronic stress, using it as a gentle daily ally that can help the mind feel more focused and resilient without the jittery edge of stimulants like caffeine. Gotu Kola also shows promise as a mood and stress support herb, with studies indicating that it may improve the ability to cope with stress and positively influence anxiety levels over time. In traditional systems, it is sometimes grouped with adaptogen-like herbs because of how it seems to help the body adapt to emotional and mental strain, though it is more cooling and clarifying than stimulating. For those who carry their stress in a racing mind, light anxiety, or mental fatigue rather than full burnout, Gotu Kola can be a soothing companion, often taken in small regular doses rather than as an occasional knockout remedy. Skin, wounds, and connective tissue support. Beyond the brain, Gotu Kola is famous for its ability to support healthy skin and tissue repair, and modern research backs this long-standing reputation. Extracts of Centella Asiatica have been shown to increase collagen formation in wounds, encourage the dermis to rebuild with stronger, more organized tissue, and help minimize excessive scarring or fibrosis, which is why you see it in many creams aimed at scars, stretch marks, and aging skin. In various lab and animal studies, topical preparations sped wound healing, boosted antioxidant levels in the healing tissue, and increased markers of collagen production and tensile strength, suggesting that Gotu Kola helps both the quality and speed of skin repair. This collagen-supporting action does not just stop at the surface of the skin, but also extends into deeper connective tissues like ligaments, cartilage, and the supportive tissues around joints. Some research indicates that Gotu Kola's compounds may help protect cartilage from degeneration and support the collagen that cushions and stabilizes joints, making it interesting in the context of arthritis and other joint concerns. Herbalists also reach for Gotu Kola after injuries, surgeries, or bone-related trauma, where its ability to enhance collagen and tissue repair can support the ligaments, tendons, and connective structures that surround and stabilize healing bones. Circulation, veins, and longevity traditions. Gotu Kola has a long history as a circulatory and rejuvenating herb, especially in traditions where it is used to support longevity and healthy aging. Studies suggest that Gotu Kola may improve microcirculation and vein health, easing symptoms linked with chronic venous insufficiency such as leg heaviness, swelling, and discomfort, likely due to its effects on vessel integrity and connective tissue. By promoting better blood flow and supporting strong vessel walls, it may indirectly benefit tissues that depend on good circulation, including the brain, skin, and peripheral limbs, aligning with its reputation for promoting overall vitality. In some cultures, elders traditionally consumed small amounts of fresh Gotu Kola daily, often as part of salads or juices, and were said to enjoy sharper minds and longer lives, feeding into its identity as an herb of longevity. While these stories are partly anecdotal, they mirror modern findings that its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activities may help protect against free radical damage and chronic degenerative processes associated with aging. For someone looking to build a long-term wellness routine, Gotu Kola often fits as a gentle, food-like herb used consistently in modest amounts rather than a short-term, high-dose quick fix. Everyday ways people use Gotu Kola. There are several common ways people incorporate Gotu Kola into their daily lives, and the best form often depends on personal preference and the goal of use. Traditional use often centers on the fresh or dried leaves, which can be made into a tea, blended into juices, or eaten in small amounts in food, while modern supplements provide standardized extracts in capsules, tablets, and tinctures for more precise dosing. For skin and scar support, topical creams, gels, and serums containing Centella Asiatica extract or its isolated compounds are widely used and appear in many over-the-counter cosmetic and dermatologic products. A simple herbal tea, made by steeping dried Gotu Kola leaf in hot water for several minutes, is a common method for those seeking gentle support for mood, focus, or general wellness. Liquid extracts and tinctures are often chosen for more targeted cognitive or circulatory support because they allow flexible dosing and easy combination with other herbs. Some people also incorporate powdered Gotu Kola into smoothies or capsules for daily maintenance, which can mimic the traditional use of the plant as a regular, food-like tonic. How to grow Gotu Kola at home. Growing Gotu Kola at home is surprisingly achievable, especially if you can give it moisture, warmth, and a bit of shade. The plant prefers rich, loamy soil that stays consistently moist, with good drainage so the roots are not sitting in stagnant water, and it thrives in partial shade to full sun depending on your climate, leaning more towards shade in hotter areas to prevent wilting. Because it naturally creeps and spreads, it works beautifully as a ground cover in damp garden beds or in wide, shallow containers where its runners have room to stretch. You can start Gotu Kola from seed by sowing into a container filled with moist, lightweight potting mix, making sure there is drainage and keeping the soil evenly damp until the seeds sprout. Once seedlings have developed their first true leaves, they can be potted up into individual containers and later transplanted to the garden after all danger of frost has passed, as this plant loves warmth and will sulk in cold conditions. Gotu Kola also propagates easily from cuttings or divisions of existing plants, and with regular watering and occasional feeding with compost or organic fertilizer during the growing season, a single plant can eventually produce a generous mat of leaves for both beauty and medicine. Caring for and harvesting your plant. To keep Gotu Kola happy, think even moisture and gentle feeding, as it does not tolerate drying out but also does not want to sit in waterlogged soil. Regular watering is especially important in hot or windy weather, and in containers, you may find you need to water frequently to keep the soil consistently damp, much like you would for other marsh or moisture-loving herbs. During the active growing season in spring and summer, a light side dressing of compost or an occasional dose of organic liquid fertilizer such as compost tea can encourage lush, vibrant growth without making the plant weak or floppy. Harvesting is simple and can be done repeatedly through the growing season by snipping healthy, clean leaves and tender stems, leaving enough growth for the plant to recover and continue spreading. The fresh leaves can be rinsed and used immediately in teas, juices, or food, or they can be dried in a warm, shaded, well-ventilated area until crisp and then stored in airtight jars away from light and heat. With thoughtful care, a well-established patch of Gotu Kola can provide a steady supply of leaves for both culinary and herbal uses, turning a corner of your garden into a living source of brain, skin, and connective tissue support. If this herb resonates with you, consider exploring it further with guidance from trusted herbal and medical professionals. And if you found this exploration helpful, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is also on a path of discovering powerful, time-tested plants like Gotu Kola.